Rebecca? Okay, hold on. Let me start the stream.
Oh, I feel like I need
Good.
2025. Go
We're
ahead.
live. I think we're live. Woo! Good morning and welcome to the Moms in Real Estate Morning Show, the first one of 2025. Good morning, friend. What were you going to say? You feel like what?
Oh, well, we were like going live for the first time in 2025. And I'm like, how was one of my goals not to make my Zoom better? Like, look at your lighting, look at mine. I don't have one of those amazing backgrounds. That should have been top priority, and I didn't.
Well, the good news is today we're talking about resetting, refocusing, and recharging. And one of the first things we're going to talk about is like clearing the clutter in our workspace, right? And so, I mean, I'm one of those that the truth is, as silly as it sounds, like my environment dictates my productivity. And in my like it just my entire experience is impacted by my environment. And so one of the
Yeah.
first things we're going to talk about is how simple changing the immediate environment and decluttering can be. I know you've been doing a little bit of this, right?
You know what's funny is I feel like I've been nesting. You remember when you were pregnant and you were
Mhm.
like preparing for that baby to come?
Yeah.
I have been nesting the entire month of December with my house and with my business. So like I had to like basically like reorganize all my branding. I've been going through my photos like and creating folders so that if I'm creating a reel, I'm like, okay, everything's like nice and organized because it
Yeah.
has not been like that. And the other thing that I was doing too that was kind of random that's been amazing is I've been spending like maybe 5-10 minutes a day deleting contacts that I have no idea who they are in my phone.
Mm, that makes sense. You know, speaking of your phone, I feel like a really good way to cut the clutter and improve the efficiency is creating albums, especially around like B-roll. So like making like a fall B-roll, winter B-roll. Obviously in Arizona, you guys have sunshine all the time, but like in my market, like it's completely different. And so it's just so much easier. Like I'll have a great content idea, but it'll take an hour to like make something that should take 5 minutes because I
Because
can't
you
find
can't find
you.
it.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. That
So
is
I think
definitely
that's a
one of
good
the
tip.
things I've been doing. I love
Yeah.
that.
Another area for agents is really their CRM. And so one hack I learned about that I implemented about probably 5 years ago is I actually have a lead house and a CRM. And so agents crack me up because you'll say, how many people are in your CRM? And they'll say 2,500. And you're like, yeah, no, not in your CRM, maybe including leads, but like actual people that you have relationship with, probably not 2,500, right? So whether you're using one system or two, this is a really great time to like organize your CRM, kind of like you said for you, you're big on your phone. So your phone is your CRM and remove those duplicates, add some organization. For me, I created a 1-page cheat sheet. It's my FUB playbook, and it just says how we tag people, how we put them in there, and that's a game changer. I look at that thing all the time because I'm like, wait, how do I find somebody? And I just go look at it. I'm like, all right, this person has this tag. So that's kind of like cleaning up your contacts,
Oh,
right?
you should teach a class on how to implement that.
I should teach so many
All
classes.
right. If you're listening to this and you want to learn it, tell Randy, send her a private message.
Yeah, I love the FUB playbook. It is a game changer for
You know
me.
what I did too? Probably like 2 or 3 months ago was I feel like because I've tried so many CRM systems, you guys, I can't. And I know a lot of you guys feel that. I go back to Google Sheets every single time. And so what I did was I created a Google Sheet that says in and almost in. And so my almost in is all the people that are like on the hook, and the people that are in just helps me keep top of mind to everybody who's already in my ecosystems. And I feel like I just pull it up every day. And it's like such a great thing for me to spend 20-30 minutes in. And
Mhm.
it's so simple. So, so simple.
Have you ever seen, because obviously Kristen isn't in production, I am in production, in case you don't know that, but have you ever seen the deals in FUB? Have you ever seen what it looks like?
No.
So it's kind of very similar. I won't show it because I obviously have like live names on there, but I gamify everything with my clients. And so it's kind of the same thing, like how you have the 2 columns. I have like 3 columns, like the pipeline, the working hot, and like engaging. And it's the same thing for all of my clients. And I literally just look at that. So I have systems that remind me, and I think this is important to have like systems that actually trigger a task. But for
Yeah,
me, I just like to sit down and look at a sheet and go like, who can I move today? Like gamifying it changes it for me. Like
it is
what
fun.
person can I get one step closer to buying or selling? What person can I get one step closer to joining us at Real, right? And then I'm like, oh, I'll just reach out. And I even put a link in there So you can click on them so you see it, and you can like drag and drop them and move them from categories. Sometimes I'm like, dang it, got to move them back. Like they just made a move somewhere else, or they didn't buy a house or whatever. And then you can click on them. And so the first thing I do on their contacts is I put in their social links. I put in their Facebook and their Instagram. So then when I'm like, oh, thinking about them, I just click on their direct link and engage on their profile.
Yes, I do that too. It makes it
Yeah.
so much easier.
So much easier. So when it comes to, just to recap, when it comes to clearing the clutter, clean your workspace, clean your digital workspaces, your CRMs, your phone, anything that's just adding to your inefficiency, organize those things, tidy up, give yourself a fresh environment, somewhere that you're going to feel excited to work in. And then I think that when you start doing that, it really leads to our second point, which is vision refresh. Like, I feel like when you start to get it together, it's like, dang, wait a minute, I can do more. And then like all of a sudden you start like thinking about the vision component, right?
Yeah, absolutely. I think so.
Well,
Like,
and you
yeah,
and I both,
go
go ahead.
ahead.
No, you go.
Now I forget what I was saying.
Well, I was going to say you do something that I love, which is so both of us kind of do our 12 weeks, like we do our 12-week, our quarter
Yeah.
goals. And you do it like right there on a board. You write it like right on a board next to
It's
you.
literally on my to-do list because
Did you
it's
do
so
that?
fresh right now.
Oh,
You
there's
can't
your
see. Oh,
board.
crap. You can't see, but it says 2025. What's wrong with me? There
There
we
it is.
go.
There it is. There it is. So I love that, right? So something as simple as like writing down 3 professional and 3 personal goals. And we would both recommend like for the quarter, right? Like forecast as moms, trying to forecast a year is a freaking joke. So just do the
Well,
next quarter, right?
I did say like, what do I want to accomplish in 2025? And then I
Write it
broke
down
that
though.
into quarters. And what I'll do on my board is I'll put Q1 goals and then I'll say January, February, March, and I'll keep track monthly that gets me to that Q1. And then I erase everything and I'll do a Q1 recap and then I'll put two Q2 goals and do the same thing. And that was like honestly so helpful for me last year. I loved it.
What makes it bite-sized too. And I think that, one thing that's really important, and I've been guilty of this, is making sure my goals align with my priorities. And I mean, obviously that sounds silly because like, oh, if your goal is to increase your income and sell more houses and make more money to take care of your family, and your family's obviously a priority, it seems like it makes sense. But especially being in real estate and being in production and running alongside like mega teams and big producers, I would find myself sitting at like roundtables and masterminds, and the guys next to me are like generating 150 leads a month, and they're scaling to like 40 agents, and they're building these rainmaker teams. And because my goal was to like provide better for my family, then I started doing that. And in actuality, my priorities were never to build a rainmaker team. So I
Yeah.
think it's so important to like understand, yes, like your ultimate win might be to increase your income, but like what is your priority? Is it being heavy in family? Because then you're going to build differently. Does that make sense?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, so
It's so nice to keep those like personal goals because we have so many goals in so many different areas of our lives. Like even, yesterday at church, they challenged us to read the Bible every day. And I'm like, okay, I can do that, but I can't do that if it's not like in front of me, right? So I have to put that on my board. And even like in my workspace, I have to have my Bible. And like it's
yep.
just because it's like right there and I can see it. So it's definitely like having it in front of you. The other thing that I did that I really like this year is I created my vision board. I did whiteboards on Canva and I put everything on there, business, personal, whatever, and I put it on my desktop. So I wish I could show you guys. I don't even know if I could show you my desktop. I don't think I can.
You definitely can. um Angelica can give you sharing ability, and you can. But
Great.
I love this because this is exactly our third point, which is our routine, recharging our routine. And you're like so right. You're so right. Like I've been missing some of
Can
my
you see
Bible.
this?
Let me see. Wait. Yes, there it is. Yay. Yes, you can see it.
Yeah, look at so this is my desktop background along with like a couple of my pictures and stuff. But how nice is this that every day I'm like, okay, like these are what the things I need to be paying attention to.
I love the meat. I love the, did I send you the,
You
I
like
don't
my
think I did.
meat and my butter and my
I
tallow?
don't even think I sent it to you, but after you talked to me about doing carnivore, I told Ramon, and the next day, I think I didn't even send you, I'm gonna have to send you the video. I took it to send you, but I forgot. The next day he comes on the couch, like, and like sits down and hands me like you would hand somebody a bag of chips. He hands me a steak like this big. And I'm like, I can't even. I literally in my head was like, I gotta tag Kristen and be like, this is what happens when you tell your husband you and Kristen are going on the carnivore diet.
I love him. Tell him to come make me steak.
He literally just like dropped it down. But I love that.
Oh,
That visual is powerful.
It
So
really is helpful.
how did you like, okay, so takeaways. We want to make sure you're giving takeaways. The routine is going to be huge, right? Like for me, I tell people all the time, if it's not in my calendar, it doesn't exist. I share
Mm,
my calendar link like all day long. I'm like, here it is, here it is, because I
same.
genuinely want to meet with people. But if you don't book it, like, and it doesn't happen on the calendar, it's never going to happen. So
Yeah.
the routine is huge. And not to sidestep that, but you said something that excited me, which was that you built it on Canva, and we're getting ready to host a vision, like a event, like a vision board event. And Brittany and I are going back and forth because we're like, is it going to be lame if we're like, oh, we're building them digitally and we're all sitting around on our computers?
I actually, so
Think.
I was always against digital vision boards. And I will tell you today, I am against the other ones because I'm searching through magazines that I'm just pulling cute photos. Honestly, at the end of the day, I'm like, I'm barely finding anything that actually makes sense for my vision. So if
Right.
I'm like, go in and I'm like, here's my clear vision, I want to, do more of a carnivore diet. Well, I don't need to look through a bunch of magazines for that. I'm going to Google a picture and I'm going to like it. And I'm going to put it on my desktop and I'm going to bring it into Canva. So visually, like the way that I just saw my vision board, I'm like, it's cute. I like it. And I'm on my laptop all day, every day. Like it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, I like it. I used to go and do the same exact thing. The only difference is I printed all of them out. So then I
Mhm.
was I was that girl that got to the vision board party and I'm like, I brought my custom cutouts. Thanks. Like
Yeah.
I've already crafted this. But then my issue was like at the end of the year, I had this big vision board that I was like, all right, what do I do with this now? Like I'm just throwing it away.
Yeah.
And what I love is that like if you build it digitally, you can print it out if you want to, you can make it a
Yep.
poster, you can do whatever, but then you have it digitally as well.
Or
So I
how
love
fun
that.
if we do this every year and have like a folder on our computer that says vision boards and you can like go through and see. I like that.
Yes. Yeah. I always think that. I always think like I would love to go back and compare, but then I threw them away and I never had them. I
Oh,
remember
here
my
we are.
sister,
We're doing this every year. You're gonna see
my
here.
sister one year, this is totally off topic, but one year I looked at her vision board and literally she was like, I love her to death, but she's nuts. This was like 10 years ago. She's grown a lot, but she was like getting a divorce, finding love, getting married, and getting pregnant all in like one year. And I was like, wait, like, I don't know if this should be on a vision board publicly.
Yeah, that's so
Um,
funny.
yeah. But anyways, that was off topic. It just made me think of her. So marketing revamp. What do you think they should do if they're gonna like revamp their marketing? You've kind of been in the thick of this recently.
Oh, I mean, gosh, I don't even know how to answer that because the way that I did it was like one thing that I learned last year, oh my gosh, like multiple learning lessons was like my personal brand is like my biggest focus. And so I know some realtors that are listening will completely think that that's what the direction they go. And some are going to be like, I don't understand that. For
Right.
me, like I just know that however I show up, I want it to be like all Kristen Cantrell, and then all the different legs that I do, I want to be a part of that and not the main thing. So my whole revamp was basically like making sure all of my branding was the same and made sense with my main focus. I
Yeah.
hope that
Well, and
makes
I
sense.
think for the agents that are listening that don't yet understand the power of personal brand, 2025 needs to be the year that you do. Because
Yeah,
whether you are in a partnership, whether you lead a team, whether you are on a team, just
at a
like she said, that
brokerage.
needs, right, exactly. That needs to be a leg. At the end of the day, you need to be the brand and the people need to trust you. And then they will they'll trust who you're aligned with as secondary, not trust them and then trust you. It needs to be,
Yeah, even think about, I mean, gosh, doing this for a decade, there's nothing worse than when an agent decides to leave their company to come work with us and
Mhm.
they have an at whatever brokerage email address. I'm
Email.
like, no,
Yes.
like there's no reason. Even like I love Real Broker, okay? I would never have a Kristen at Real Broker email address because I don't know what the future holds in 3, 5, 10 years from now. So why would I focus on putting all of that branding effort into the brokerage versus my own brand?
Yeah. Yeah. You have to own your business. And I think that's a big thing too. And that's where, I'm excited because my marketing revamp is huge this year after
So
23
cute.
years of operating as Mendez Home Team in my market and, being a successful team. We have completely rebranded to be Faithful Living. And I am so excited about it. But a big part of that was really, I forgot my thought. Jordy handed me something. It's all her fault. You had said something and I had a really
Party.
good point. But I mean, in a good portion of that, like which there's a whole backstory to that. My mom had to legally change her name, and we had to go through compliance in the division, and it was crazy. It was crazy, but it was because I wanted agents to be able to identify with the brand more, right? And I wanted them to be able to tap into it. But again, it was building that second thing. Like Randy is known for one thing, and now I get to lead Faithful Living. But Faithful
Yeah.
Living is its own brand too, right? And that's another thing for team leaders. Like, I don't know why team leaders, and I understand a lot of us have to name our teams because of our names, but like the team should be a brand. It should be a standalone brand, just like Moms in Real Estate. Kristen and I are personalities behind Moms in Real Estate, but Moms in Real Estate isn't exclusively Kristen and I. It's partners, it's all these other things. It's its own brand, and then we get to be the people that actually like run it. And that should be exactly how your business is, your team, all of those things.
Amen. Oh my gosh. And don't you just wish, don't you wish you heard that so long ago?
So long ago, so long ago, but I have to, so I got
For
turned
all
in
of you
on,
guys that are new, like you're welcome, because this is so,
well,
so
this stuff
messy
is,
down the road.
well, oh, I think that's what I was going to say. I was going to say is like, you're going to have sacrifice. It's either going to be up front or it's going to be later. And inevitably agents come into the business as newer agents. They join somebody else's brand, which I'm absolutely advocating for. I'm not saying don't do that, but they make the mistake of not building their own brand. They make the mistake of not building their own business. And then 3 years in, they go to exit that team and it's like starting over. It's like starting from scratch.
So many,
So you got to make the upfront sacrifice to actually build something that you own, right?
And that can
like
be crippling. I've seen that in so many bad lights over the years.
So much. Well, we want to end on one final bullet, which is really client and community engagement. So, really, no matter what you do in business, no matter whether you're great at social media, no matter whether your CRM is a mess, no matter if you are messed up on your routine, there is one thing that is secret sauce in this business, and it's engagement. It's client and community engagement. The more conversations you have, the more successful of a business you're going to have. And so really starting to get intentional about like when you're just going to show up and engage. So I've seen so many of you agents and Moms in Real Estate, and this is awesome, but you're like, okay, I'm going to do this many postings and I'm going to do this much marketing. And that's all fantastic, as long as it's happening secondary to actually showing up and engaging with people where they are.
Yeah. Yes, I completely agree with that.
Yeah. And Kristen, you are so much better at, like Kristen, Kristen and I have different strengths and different superpowers. I'm like behind the scenes, like building out our next level of our growth in our business and our operations. And then Kristen's like, oh, I built 40 new relationships because she like gets in and has the conversation. And so, I mean, you have to have this. I don't think a business can succeed without a relationship builder.
Well, and I think that if you're trying to like build a surface level business, it can get you by, but this is how you build roots. It's like that consistency of showing up. And it is not something that happens overnight. I swear, I was just talking to my husband about this the other day. I'm like, the amount of people that try something for such a short amount of time and are like, oh, this doesn't work. You guys, like, if you're out there and you're doing community events and you're engaging in things, don't think that it's going to be this like, oh my gosh, I've been doing this for a couple months and it hasn't worked. You've got to commit to like, this is how you're going moving forward. And it's probably going to take 9+ months before it starts paying off. And I think that's the same thing with farming, right? So it's like, don't expect it to be this quick thing. Expect it to be long-term and expect it to completely shift the way that you do your business and show up like that all the time.
Yeah, 100%. So if you're thinking like, where the heck do I start? Think of local businesses, think of charities, think of communities, events, sponsorships, and just start tapping in. And remember, you don't have to put all of the weight on your back and be the creator of all things. When you're ready to do that, talk to Kristen, because she has Connect and Cultivate, and she'll teach you how to be the creator. But in the meantime, be a contributor, show up in other people's ecosystem and help them with the lift. And that will like be a game changer in your business.
Yeah, there's a realtor, her name's Cody Brown. She's a mom in real estate in Michigan, and she calls it being a wing woman, an event wing woman. And she built her business to 30+ transactions her first year by doing this. And she went to Facebook and looked up local events, reached out to the people throwing the events and said, hey, I love what you're doing. Like, how can I help you? How can I, like, is there anything that I can do to contribute? As an event person, somebody that's constantly doing events, if somebody reached out to me and said this, I would probably cry. I'd be like, yes,
right.
Please help me.
Right. Like, yes, absolutely. Oh my gosh. I just thought of that myself. Like, I would be like, yes. So I think we to recap really quick, we talked about, so clearing the clutter, vision refresh, recharging your routine, marketing revamp, and then build the freaking relationships, have that client and community engagement. So these are 6 steps that you can put into play in your business, whether you're a brand new agent or highly seasoned, running a team wherever you are, and you will definitely unlock the next level of growth. So I loved today's conversation. Do you have anything else you want to share before we wrap up?
I don't. Happy New Year.
Yay, Happy New Year. Be sure to watch our cover photo. We have so much goodness coming, and we have a couple new master classes coming that you won't want to miss. So thanks for being here.
Bye.
Bye, guys.